Hi, I'm Hiking Jim, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Stoving. Today's stove is the Svea 123. This is a Svea 123, and if you'll notice, it has a cap on it. Comes with a cap, which can be used as a pot or a cup. You reach over here, and you grab this small aluminum handle, and you can take the cup off, although when it's cold you don't really need to do it this way. When you want to use the cup, you hold it like this. And you can make a small pot out of it, although you probably want to bring a little strip of aluminum foil to cover the top of the pot. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to do a demonstration of how to use the Svea 123. Now, I don't have any fancy photography equipment here, so I'm using my hands, so pardon me if it's a little shaky. First thing you should do with the Svea 123 is you should open the tank cap so that you equalize the pressure. So if the air pressure inside the tank is equal to the pressure outside the tank. Now, I can't do that with one hand, quite frankly. I can't take the windscreen off, open up the cap, and do that all with one hand. So I've already taken the liberty of doing that. You should do it each time. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to deploy the pot supports, expand them outwards so that they're fully deployed. And then I am going to use alcohol to prime the stove. To me, that's the easiest. I've got a little squeeze bottle of alcohol, 2 fluid ounces. What is that, 50 milliliters? Something like that. I'd have to look. Anyway, so I've got a couple of fluid ounces of alcohol here. This is denatured alcohol, sometimes in some places called meths. It's just alcohol, ethyl alcohol basically, with something in it so that you can't drink it. I'm going to squirt a little alcohol in there, take my lighter, and now it's lit. Now, you can't see it's lit, but I can see it's lit. Probably you can. Well, maybe you can. I saw just a little yellow flicker. That's the one problem with alcohol, but if you put your hand over it, you can definitely tell that it's lit because you'll feel heat coming up. Now, what you have to do as you prime is you have to let the alcohol burn down a bit. And have we gone out? No, still getting a little bit of heat. So anyway, it has to burn for a while. It's a cold day, and I'm on a cold rock, so let's see how well this works. It may not be my banner day here. We'll see. Anyways, okay, so I can see more flame, so that's good. The majority of the alcohol needs to go into the little well into which the burner column screws. Sometimes that burner column is also called a generator. So, I don't know if you can see it now or not, but there is definitely flame down in there. And what that flame is doing is it's heating up the stove. Now, this is a liquid-fueled stove. You need to use Coleman fuel or the equivalent. And since it's liquid, it won't burn very well as a liquid. Okay, now I have got the stove, the flame has gone out. Okay, now, what I was saying is, the liquid won't burn properly. It needs to be heated, and when it gets heated, it vaporizes. Now, I don't know if you can see a little bit of a flash of yellow every once in a while there. What's happening is there's some liquid coming out there, and the liquid's not burning quite right. It's not, the liquid's not being completely vaporized by the heat. So you've got to let it run just a minute. Now, you can probably not even see the flame, but I can hear it. And there's this typical pulsing that the Svea 123 makes. Another tip about the Svea 123, don't leave the key on the spindle. That heat goes right straight into the key, and you'll make that mistake maybe once, because it can get really quite hot. Now, let's get in a little closer here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that guy's pulsing. He's just getting started, and like I say, it's a cold day and it's on a cold rock, so not a super strong flame right now, but it's definitely flaming, and the yellow has disappeared. That means that the stove is warmed up, and that I'm going to open up the valve just a bit more here. The stove is warmed up, the fuel's vaporizing properly, and it's burning properly. Okay, well, we're not getting a super hot flame today. It'll warm up for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and put the pot on. Anyway, that is a demonstration of how to use a Svea 123. You first take off the windscreen, open up the cap, equalize the pressure inside and outside the tank. Then you close the cap, put the windscreen back on. Then for me, I use alcohol. That's just the easiest and the cleanest. Put the alcohol in, squirt it around, light it on fire, let it burn off. Open up the valve after everything's burned off. You should hear a hiss of gas. Probably couldn't hear it today, but you should hear a hiss of gas instead of seeing liquid coming out of the jet. And then you light that if the flame from your alcohol has gone out, or if there's still a little bit of flame, the flame from the alcohol may light it for you if you time it well, which I didn't today. And you let it settle down a little bit, let it heat up, and then put your pot on. Okay, so that's a demonstration of how to use a Svea 123. I'm not going to bore you watching water boil, but in a minute I'm going to have a nice cup of tea. My name's Hikin' Jim, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Adventures in Stowe.